I'm Jason Weber. I'm with the CAFO National Foster Care Initiative. Yeah. I have a blank canvas here. And if I were to ask you, how many of you, could you come up here with some paints and some brushes, and could you paint something that looks like something that, well, maybe you'd hang it in your house, but that somebody else would want to hang in their house, like maybe an animal of some sort? How many of you think you could pull that off on a blank canvas with some paint and some brushes? I see like 6 hands. All right. So now, well, what if I said it was actually a paint by number that looked like this? I'll show that slide. And there's a frog. And some of the parts were already painted in. And all I need you to do is take the paint and fill in a space or two. How many of you think you could pull that off? I'm thankful that you raised your hands. All right. So, and that makes sense, right? Because what we do with overwhelming things that we don't feel prepared to accomplish, we have to take them and break them into smaller pieces and share the load with others, right? For the last 5 years, the National Foster Care Initiative of CAFO, we have been using the words more than enough. We've been talking about that in relation to foster care. We're going to show you on the screen what we mean when we say more than enough. We want to see more than enough in 4 areas. Let's show those 4 areas. When we talk about more than enough, we mean more than enough foster and kinship families for every child to have an ideal placement. We mean more than enough adoptive families for every child waiting for adoption. We mean more than enough help for biological families trying to stabilize and reunify, and more than enough wraparound support for every kinship, foster, biological, and adoptive family. More than enough. That's what we seek. A little over a year ago, there were a group of national foster care leaders, organizations that have foster care ministry in a number of different states. Organizations like Project 127 and Care Portal and America's Kids Belong and Focus on the Family. And some of those leaders we were actually talking late at night, and the question came up, what would it actually take? Like, if resources were not a problem, what would it actually take to get to more than enough? Well, that conversation lasted late into the night, and that conversation lasted into the next day, and that conversation lasted into the next year. And it pulled in a whole lot of other organizations and leaders, all of whom are in this room, all of whom put their mind to this question, and we asked that question, what would it actually take in this country to get to more than enough? Not in our lifetime, not in the next 40 or 50 years, but in the next decade. What would it take? And the answer we came to as we talked to all of these people, all of these experts, all of these people who think about these things all the time, is we felt like, if we could just get 10% of churches in every county in the country actively engaged in foster care, we think that would be enough to get to more than enough. And so I'm here tonight to announce a new national strategy, a new national initiative, and we want to invite you all into it. You've been given a coloring book at the door and some colored pencils. You're going to want to check that out because there are prizes hidden in some of those. And that explains more of the details. But we are asking you as an individual, you as an organization, you as a church to make a commitment with us and believe with us that this is possible. We're asking you for 3 things. We'll show those up here. 1, we're asking you to believe it's possible. Believe that more than enough is possible in your county. We want to see 10% of churches actively engaged in foster care in your county by 2025. Believe it's possible. Child welfare gave up a long time ago. We in the church gave up a long time ago on the idea that it was possible to have more than enough, and we've been settling for just a little better. And just a little better isn't good enough for the kids and families in our counties. Number 2, do your part. That's you saying, I'll do my part to ensure that 10% of churches in my county are actively engaged in foster care by 2025. For some of you, that's bringing a meal to a family on Thursday. For some of you, that's starting an entire movement in your county. Just do your part. And then 3, do it together. I will commit to being in trust-building environments with other churches, organizations, and individuals for the purpose of collaborating, coordinating, and cooperating so that we can see more than enough where I live. At the end of the day, this is an effort to take a really big problem that's overwhelming and break it down into small pieces and share the load with others. so that we can actually see it happen. I believe it's possible. A whole lot of organizations represented in this room are possible, and I'd like to show you a video of some other friends we've made along the way that also believe it's possible.
I am loved.
I have family.
I have everything I need. Actually, I have more than enough.
I believe vision is seeing things the way they could be, the way they should be.
I like that. I have a vision that one day
there will be more than enough
for kids and families before, during, and beyond foster care.
More than enough. Foster families and kinship families for every child.
More than enough.
Adoptive families for every child who needs one.
More than enough.
Help for biological families trying to stay together or get back together.
Y es más que suficiente apoyo para todas las familias que cuidan a los niños.
I can't take on foster care across the whole country or even my whole state.
But I can help provide more than enough in my own county.
And in my county.
and in my county.
How are we going to do that?
What if just 10% of churches in my county were actively engaged in foster care?
And 10% of churches in my county.
Every county.
Well, see, that's more than enough.
More than enough for kids like me.
And kids like me.
And families like us.
And like us.
I believe it's possible.
I'll do my part.
And we'll do it together.
More than enough.
So are you in or what?
So we're asking you to do one thing. On your phone, go to morethanenoughtogether.org, sign the declaration, join with other organizations, individuals, and churches across the country on, in agreement on those three things. One last word. When the people of Israel were wandering in the desert and God provided food for them, He provided manna. He didn't provide not enough. He didn't provide just enough. He provided more than enough. When Jesus came across some tired fishermen who'd been fishing all night and caught nothing, and He told them to cast their nets on the other side of the boat, He didn't provide not enough. He didn't provide just enough. He provided more than enough. And when Jesus fed 5,000 on a hillside one day using a couple of fish and 5 loaves, He didn't provide not enough. He didn't provide just enough. He provided. And someday, I don't know about you, but I want to look back at 2025 and I want to remember when the God of the universe used His people to meet the needs of kids and families in every county in the country, and that He did it not providing not enough, not providing just enough, but providing. Sign the declaration. Join us at the booth, the photo booth right outside to the right. Show us the email confirmation that you've signed it, and we'll give you this snazzy lapel pin so you can tell the world, and more importantly, your county, that you believe it too.